it's BZ. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be going over some really sensitive topics like zoophilia, pedophilia, SA, grooming, CP, etc. So viewer discretion is advised. We have a very special guest today.
Or someone calling me a fat for not liking this stuff, and I'd rather be that than a what? Goodbye.
Her name is Gothica. Now Gothica 413X on YouTube and Instagram. I will be listing her links below, so make sure to give her YouTube channel and her Instagram a follow. Gothica has dedicated her online presence to her art, bringing down zoophilias.
Hello everyone, long time no see. My name is Niffy, and I have a couple of fairy masks for sale.
Video of my dog licking the inside of my mouth, as well as certain inappropriate places where I had put peanut butter.
We're talking about Violet
Making, not eating, bitching, submit.
What the fuck? AKA Husky Traits, AKA Husky Havoc, Husky Hearted, AKA Sarah Pritchett. The dog girl who lives in Evansville, Indiana, who's into real dogs. And allegedly children.
Making reels to bring awareness to these accounts and people. I have no idea how she found out about these accounts, but the awesome thing is she is here with us today. I'll be asking these questions directly. Gothica has a few videos on YouTube about this already, so please make sure to check it out. I've been following Gothica for a while now, and seeing her talk about these people was absolutely disgusted. When I realized that not even the news channels are responding to her about these cases, and the cops are taking their sweet time, I wanted to see if there was any way that I can help bring this to light. Again, as I said earlier, I just want to warn the viewers that this stuff is a lot, but it does need to be brought to light. I want to specify this is not to hate furries, only people who use this to hurt animals, children, etc. So my first question is basically, who is Gothica?
An artist, a horror artist online. I was mainly known for some infection AUs I did on TikTok, and the Strawberry Shortcake one, and the My Little Pony one, and then I shifted my content away from that because I just was no longer interested in it. And now I've come a part of like the whole, pred catching stuff. I didn't really mean to, but a lot of people will send me stuff because I am very vocal, and I'll like make fun of people, and especially bullies or people who have really bad behavior online. So I find it very pleasurable to publicly humiliate them when they misbehave.
And you're calling me hideous when you look like that?
So people will send me stuff, and that's mainly my content, especially when people say things about me. And yeah, it's pretty much me.
I have absolutely loved your videos. I love how raw and just real you are, in your videos. Like there's just no filter. And I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
When did you first see these videos of, the dog girl and Andi Dier?
It was because I was starting to focus my content on like finding problematic people in the art community specifically. And then there's a bunch of people sending me stuff, and I'd look into things. Some things were like harder to prove, and other things were kind of like just not really anything, and I would have to tell people, unfortunately there's no story here for me to discuss. And then this is just one of the things that came to me, and then it kind of just circled me to this whole person's world of what they've been doing. And since I know it's not a part of the art community, but the furry community and the dog girl and cat girl stuff is very kind of involved in the art community in that way.
Right.
So that's how someone sent it to me. They said, you need to look into it. Somebody was very upset. They said, I felt like this person had gotten away with it and had no consequences to their actions. So then I looked into it, and at first the Google Doc was like, okay, what it is. And then I realized you can just open it up in the app, and it's way more higher quality for the images, because sometimes if you open it in browser, it looks terrible and looks so unreliable. So then I'm like, okay, there's videos that are out there of this person doing bad things. I need to see them for myself to just know that they are real, because people will say they see things or screenshots and stuff. I'm like, I need to verify this because I need to see with my own eyes. I'm like, oh, well, it does exist. And that's how it went from there. And I do take a lot of enjoyment out of, you know, really exposing stuff that people try to hide very terribly, by the way, by lying or acting like it never happened, and then kind of just plopping it out there and then just kind of really posting about it nonstop. So then they kind of get the message that I'm not going anywhere.
Mhm.
So that's how that came about. Someone
Right.
sent it to me. I
Okay.
talked about it. I looked into it. It was legit.
Right.
And that's how where we're at now.
That's where we are today. I was going to go into next. Can you explain who Sarah and Andy Dier are?
So from what I learned and looked into, there are a couple. Um, I'm not sure if they're engaged to each other, but you know how people will say stuff like, "Oh my God, my wife" or whatever. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
So they're a couple, and I'm not sure if this is something that they know, that they do. They seem to be in an open relationship where they'll be with each other, but then also be with other people. I think. Don't know. I don't know them, so I don't know how their dynamic works.
Right.
But they met when Sarah was underage, and I believe that that person kind of had a very negative impact in their life, basically introducing them to things, and then it kind of spiraled into this thing where they're an adult who are still participating in these things, and then not only assisting but enabling the the older, not the adult, but the older person in the relationship to continue to prey on children, and they don't see
Right.
any issue with it whatsoever. And whenever people don't want to date this grown ass person, they tend to, from what I've seen, people have sent me things where they'll get kind of a little aggressive and message them and like, why are you leading them on? I'm like, this is a 16-year-old girl and this is a 33-year-old person. What are we talking about?
Right.
And for what I know now is that they're both, this is from me talking to victims through like conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I've recorded conversations and things like that. I have not posted them because there's no really benefit to posting them right now. And all I do is just I'll give that to the authorities and let them deal with it, because these things can take forever. But based on my conversations with these victims, they are both complicit with meeting up with underage girls and trying to convince them to do sex work together as a couple. And that is something that they do together. So whether she was a victim at one point, which is true, you are now no longer a victim, you are an accomplice and complicit in this person's behavior.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was one thing that I was going to say. Even though at one point she was a victim, she can't use that as an excuse to just continue to do it and just like she can't
she refuses to let go.
justify it.
Trust
Right.
me.
Right. Have you talked? So you've talked to her directly then?
I've talked directly to Sarah, and I know that Candy, aka Andy, talks about me a lot. I'm always on her mind. I'll tell you that. I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, she's always talking about you and calling you her stalker." I'm like, well, it's not really hard to find anything out about you. You used to be a public figure. Like people used to look
Right.
up to you. Where Andi Dier,
You are too, sister.
And trans
It's
women
the
go to
same.
domestic violence, and you do nothing for them. Trans women are in men's prisons, and what have you done for them?
What have you done for women?
and appreciate the things you do, now you're this. So like
Mhm.
of course it was easy to find all this information out. But
Mhm.
Sarah who was very in the beginning was like trying to we were having a dialogue, and I have all the screenshots of our conversations together, and I was
Mhm.
just trying to see, cuz a lot of the time people get really upset when I try to have a polite and open dialogue with someone they perceive as a terrible person, but it's important because a lot of stupid people will incriminate themselves because they think they are being believed in their lives. So it's
Right.
important to talk to them with respect and poise. I didn't do it 100% all the way, but I tried my best.
Yeah.
But so then they can say as like contradict themselves, tell you things. So I had a conversation with them, and then I think at some point I just couldn't do it anymore. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna start braiding them because this is insane.
Right.
I insult her a little bit because I'm like, you're trying to insult my intelligence by lying to me. And then as soon as I asked for because she claimed that she went to the police regarding Annie. She's like, I filed a police report against her, blah blah, I did this. And I'm like, if that were true, you'd be able to readily provide me with an incident report number or a detective you are speaking to. And after I asked her that, she blocked me immediately.
Oh.
So, from what I know
So
from that
wise.
claim, she never went to detectives or made a report of any kind. She just provided a statement to another victim for them to provide for police. But that's not a real statement. You're just like,
Right.
whatever, but that doesn't count. And she was using the names and stories of other victims that have nothing to do with her to claim them as her own. So she probably looked up a bunch of stuff, was like, yeah, this is about me. And I'm like, this is not about you, because by the time you were messaging them, this person was serving like life in prison. So I don't know what you're talking about. So that's the problem with it. So I don't know to what capacity in continuation of how they were victimized, because they're very dishonest about what's happened to them. So I don't
Right.
know, because they keep
Right.
lying, and it's like, okay, I know for sure you're a victim of Andi, but I don't know if you're a victim of anyone else because you keep lying to me about these other people.
Right.
In reality, it's just to protect their relationship and to make sure they get less criticism for it. And after
Yeah.
they had blocked me, I think they got really upset when I made, like, I think I made after the video I posted, they threatened to sue me, and
Yeah.
then I said, go ahead, but I doubt that would ever happen, because that would require them to talk to their family about what's happened.
Yeah.
And it's not defamation if the information I'm saying is true.
Right.
That is the problem. And I don't think she's had any negative impact in her life, because she allegedly she might be working at Five Below, but she could be unemployed, and I don't think anything's happened on her. Nothing I have posted has negatively impacted her finances, her money, anything, because she wasn't like selling any products or anything.
Right.
All she does is go private sometimes, so like literally nothing's happened. So she can't provide any damages.
Right.
And then after that, I don't remember if I talked to her, because I would have to look through. It's been a while. And then she got really mad when I was making fun of her or private area hygiene, because I've seen her videos. I'm like, yeah, I was just saying, oh, she's dirty, she nasty, she don't look like she bathe. And then she
Right.
got really angry and was calling me a like the P word and all sorts of stuff. She got so pissed.
That's crazy.
And I just like, and then she has her autocorrect to set the word for, like FOR,
Yeah.
as fur. So
Oh,
she
no.
was berating me for disrespecting her. She was saying fur to me. So I just replied with fur question mark, like we're having a serious conversation and you're like role playing in my DMs. So
weird.
I doubt she's ever gonna like. She doesn't want to cut ties with that person. She's in
Yeah.
denial. She doesn't think it's
Right.
bad for teenage girls to take inappropriate pictures of themselves. And allegedly, I don't have any proof of this, just allegations, statements made from victims.
Right.
But she's viewed inappropriate content of people under a certain age and done inappropriate things to herself while viewing it to sell for content. So to me, she has no limits, and usually that is a dog whistle in like the sex worker field. No
Yeah.
limits is like key for I'm willing to do anything regardless if it's legal or not.
Oh, goodness.
No limits. It's usually a red
Okay.
flag. Like
Right.
regarding animals, kids, breaking the law because she was filming herself doing weird things in her workplace. So yeah, I don't know. Like she's very you could anyone could probably DM her and she'd probably respond. I'm gonna be so honest. I'm gonna be so
Right.
for real.
Right. My goodness. And I remember hearing that a lot of her followers are underage.
Yes. She has a lot of kid followers or people who just don't care. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people who are just like, this doesn't have anything to do with me. And I'm like, are you insane? Are you crazy? Yeah, I don't know. She has a lot of kid followers. I think it's just because the content she posts. I don't want to be mean because like maybe other people can relate to it, but TikTok in general,
Yeah.
I
Right.
hate TikTok because it is just stupid kids on there. Even
Yeah.
on my account, like that's why I've like partially abandoned the platform, because whenever in my comments, it's all just kids saying, actually, I'm like, you're not some kid trying to tell me anything. Don't try to school me. So that's a
Oh
big
my
problem. So
God.
it's
Yeah.
kind of just the platform. I'm so sorry. There's no such thing
Right.
as like a cultivating an adult audience on there, because majority of the
Yeah.
people on there are just kids. You know,
Right.
sometimes I'm swiping my For You page and I see someone's like 9-year-old kid dancing. I'm like, what is going? Whose kid is this?
Right.
So
Who's
yeah,
letting their
that's
kids
why it
do
is. I don't
this?
think it's her intention to create that type of audience. I just think that is the platform, and it's
Yeah.
easier to grow a following on TikTok. You get like
Right.
100K in less than a year. No big deal. It's not that
Right.
hard. I'm gonna be honest.
Right. Yeah. That's true. I know I recently deactivated my TikTok. I just wasn't enjoying it that much. So I
I
feel like
understand. It's
this.
terrible. It sucks.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? My following's on Instagram. I'm just stick to Instagram. But
Yeah, and everyone on Instagram, they're grown-ups. There's grown
Yeah.
people with kids and families. Like, just because a lot of
Right.
people will accuse me of having a child audience, and I'm like, yeah, maybe on TikTok, but like on Instagram, there's people who pay taxes and pay them bills.
Right.
Maybe talking to me. So,
Right. Instagram's older than TikTok, so all of us oldies are on there. Not Facebook though. I mean, I am on Facebook, but all my Facebook comments are absolutely just from the boomers. There's no kids on there.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not whatsoever. But Andy Dier. So, you said that they were an influencer at one point.
They used to be a trans political activist
Okay.
a long time ago.
Mhm.
They used to be a part of the Bernie Sanders campaign. I don't know
Oh,
to what
interesting.
capacity,
Okay.
or if it was just like volunteering. I don't know. I just know they were really involved in that space.
Mhm.
Like they had a public altercation with Rose McGowan. So like they were really out there, spreading their
Wow.
message and doing their thing. And I find everything they've done pretty ironic because of the behavior
Yeah.
they're portraying now.
Right.
It's really upsetting because they were really upset. Like, they were, and it sucks because what they're saying is true, but it's like I don't think the words should be coming out of your mouth, like at
You're
all.
right.
Because they were saying, I'm scared to, walk the streets alone. What if someone's gonna hurt me? I'm like, dude, you're preying on kids, and they've
Yeah.
been preying on children since like 2018.
Oh my
That's
god.
that's a long time, long,
That's a
long,
very
long
long
time.
Yeah.
And I think nobody really had publicized the accusations against them. Like they just had a huge popularity because they had that altercation with the celebrity, and then they just like nobody wanted to talk about what they were doing after. And they've been pretty public about their bad content. Like
Yeah.
they publicly said on Twitter that they were a quote unquote map, which for a
Oh,
lot of
no.
people they don't. No, most normal people don't know what that is. By the way,
Right.
they don't. Like you ask any parent, they're gonna like, what is that? Code word for I like kids. That's literally what that is. Your kids, I want them. That's what that means.
I remember a few years ago hearing MAP, and they made their own like flag, I think.
Yes.
I
They were trying to
don't
attach
remember what
themselves to
that
the
looks like.
LGBTQ
Yeah.
movement,
Right.
and it did not work
Yeah.
at all. No.
Thank goodness.
And these are all red flags. These are
Yeah.
dog whistles, red flags. So anybody says, um anti-contact. These are all like or a lot of people say, well, I'll look at things or I'll draw things, but I don't participate it in real life.
No.
No. These are all dog whistles to people who are just lying. They're like,
Mhm.
I would never condone being pro-contact if I have this illness. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because anyone who is in recovery for these illnesses, they wouldn't even say these words you're saying. They're just
Right.
words to gather other similar like-minded people to be in their spaces. Because
Right.
I've literally discovered people who are just like that, and they do a lot of unspeakable things behind the scenes when they think nobody is paying attention.
Right.
All eyes, terrible.
That's insane. So what are all the dog whistle like keywords?
Okay, so one that's been pretty people hate it, but I'm gonna say this now. This is
Yeah.
my opinion. So red flags are things to look out for. They don't necessarily mean it's bad, but it's something you just like, I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
an eye on you and see what you're doing.
Right.
So the big thing with the art community is like pro shipping. What it used to represent, it's like, because back in the day, people shipping themselves with some anime character,
Yeah.
and then those poor 16-year-old kids were getting bullied online. What pro shipping was, it was to protect those people. Like, let people do their stupid little drawings and leave them alone. But now it's turned into accept any shipping of any kind, regardless if it is legal, moral, or okay to do. So this would involve adult-child relationships, relationships between people who are related to each other, so brothers, siblings, parents, things like that, unconsensual relationships, so anything. So a
Mhm.
lot of people will try to say, well, it's different because that's dark shipping. Dark shipping
Dark
is a
shipping.
subcategory. It still falls under the same term. So they try to do that. They like, oh no, this word, this word, this word. Like, no. The definition says no one be harassed for anything that they do. So it's a way for people to get away with doing really disgusting, bad things. Say, hey, just because you don't like what they're doing doesn't mean they should bother them. It's not a matter of not liking what they're doing. Is that I think this person's disgusting.
Yeah.
I think they're a bad person. They're using this as an outlet to pretend, oh, it's just a fantasy. You know how many
Right.
times people got caught, the Chris Hansen talk about, oh, it's just a fantasy. I didn't mean to actually come here. No. So it is something to keep an eye on, because that's just like people say that, and then they'll say that, and then when people have the pro shipping, and then they'll act, and then they'll put right underneath, minors do not interact. I'm like, ugh. I look at that, I'm like, because it should be just, why don't you just say 18 plus account? Why do you have to say,
Right.
like, whatever? But these
Right.
are all just my opinions.
Yeah,
At least
yeah,
the
no,
first
that's fair.
portion, because that's more like the art thing.
Yeah.
The things you should really kind of pay attention to is when people say um contact stances. So contact is in contact with something that is illegal. So for instance, children, animals, or in some cases dead people, because that is another category.
Right.
And some people are like, I am anti-contact. But if you're, pro contact, you're not a bad person. That is a red flag.
Right.
Because that means you don't stand for what you say. That means
Yeah.
you're just talking.
Yeah.
So that's a dog. To me, that's not just a red flag. That is a dog whistle.
Okay.
That sentence right there. What do you mean? It's like saying you're not a bad person. That's literally that's what I'm hearing. What are you talking about?
Right.
What are you talking about?
Right.
And then another one to keep an eye on. It's so like zoos. So that's like that's the animal equivalent of map. So that's like it stands for zoophile. So zoo, and they'll have their own flags and everything, and then they'll have
God.
they'll attach a lot of things to like rad queer umbrella terms. So they'll add whatever that, and then be like, I'm a zoo demi girl. What are you? No. Remove that. Remove that. No. Remove that. I know rad queer is a little of a controversial conversation, because but a lot of if you go through like a lot of stuff that they post about, like if you go on Tumblr and look up rad queer, you see so much terrible stuff. So I don't know if it's a good movement or not, because all I'm seeing online is nothing good. I have no idea.
Right.
They just want to to me it comes off being pro anything, being supportive of anything no matter what, and that sounds scary to me. Like anything no matter what, like including kids doing sex work and stuff like that, because it's the whole idea of like, you should not take a child's autonomy away from them. These dog whistles.
Yeah.
You want me to
dog
repeat the last
whistles.
thing I said, so if it got cut off?
Yeah, it was right where you're saying about minors having body,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
a huge. This is a dog whistle, because there's a difference between
Right.
red flag. Red flag, keep an eye out. Dog whistle,
Right.
no.
Right. Okay.
When people are saying that children should have more rights, and it's always having to do with their sexuality, and it has nothing to do with their rights as a human being. So when they're like, oh, why are we doing like age of consent? That seems pretty limiting, huh? You don't think they know what that is? Like, I swear they say stuff like that, and they're like, they can work, they can pay taxes. Why not do? I'm like, excuse me, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? No. So
Insane.
there's that, and then they do use unfortunately, a lot of emojis. We can't even be using emojis, so they'll have used specific emojis, combinations, and symbols that represent what they're attracted to. So like if they like little boys or little girls or things like that. And you also have to check their following too. So a lot of times they'll say minors do not interact, and then they'll be following a bunch of kids. Defeats the purpose of that, don't it? Right? You know what I mean? And there was one person I talked about. It was I call them plur, but plur is like peace, love, unity, and respect. It's something that has to do with the alt scene. And now it's been taken over by these weirdos. So we can't even have nothing. We literally have nothing now. So but I called them plur, and then they went by like playpen, puppy, and a bunch of other things, and then they got upset when people were saying, hey, you shouldn't be interacting with these kids in this way, especially with the stuff you're posting. They're like, it's gonna be a really hard choice to like stop being friends with basically my best friends. I'm like, how are you best friends as a 20-something-year-old and you're best friends with a 15-year-old? You need to grow up. Come on. Grow up.
Literal children.
So stuff like that too, like just you have to go. Everything's within context too. So also, oh my god, my favorite thing, they added a pride flag for being a white supremacist. Yes, like a queer, like, I am this, but I'm also gay. I'm like, but who asked though? And also, there's the whole thing. Just a lot of people don't know this, but like, there's necrophilia, so that's like the attraction to like dead things that people, and a lot of them don't think it's like an issue at all, and they're like, well, when am I actually gonna see one? I'm like, dude, you can't be like just posting about this stuff, and then you're following a bunch of kids online. Like, come on. And so that's another one. That's like they call themselves necros, and they're like, oh, necros are valid. I'm like, what does that mean? Why would you want to identify with something that's a mental illness? Like, I don't understand. That's like terrible.
Right. That's something that.
So
you'd keep to yourself.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh my god, another thing. People pretending to be children online. Oh my
Oh,
god. It's not
no.
like they're not trying to bait people or trying to get
Mhm.
somebody. They'll be
Yeah.
like they'll say I'm perma 12, and what that means is I'm permanently 12, but my body is 20. And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
So you're
And then
mentally a
they'll
child. Is that what
and then
you're
they'll
saying?
put their child self in very disgusting, terrible situations. I'm like,
What
what?
the hell?
I'm like, what are you? They're like, well, you know, there's this one person I've discovered on Twitter. They're disgusting. I can't wait to talk about them.
Yeah.
But they like have two accounts for like their altar. They're like, my altar's an adult, my altar's a child, and then all they do is draw. They draw and post their 12-year-old self being abused in many different ways.
Rena Goth, aka Ruru, claims that she stopped drawing CP when she became an adult. Then when she got exposed for doing it as an adult, she starts to drift towards it's okay because it's fiction.
As long as you can separate reality and fictional, and you don't commit any real crime, you are fine.
And then they'll say like, haha, whatever, I'm getting R-worded, who cares? I'm like, what?
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 And
What? That's actually okay.
so from what I've
My
noticed that people
God.
who are like that too, these people are always crazy. They're crazy people. And it kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of like those girls who will go on like Twitter and they'll be like super racist to themselves and it's all to appease some sort
Yeah.
of sexuality or to appease someone else, like what they're into or
Mhm.
whatever, their own devious whatever's. Like
Yeah.
there was this one girl, she was doing all sorts of disgusting, like it's like race play, I don't know.
Mm.
Nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with me.
Nope.
And she was complaining that people were reporting her to CPS.
Oh my God.
She's like, just because I am a single mother. I'm like, well, you didn't gotta tell everybody that, but she was just posting disgusting stuff on Twitter. And then there was another girl who was doing similar stuff, because that's also an ooh woo thing, like the
Oh.
ooh woo, I'm evil. Ooh woo, I'm evil. And those people are always crazy. I'm so sorry. There's a difference between being like dark humor funny or whatever, but when they get their whole personality, they're insane people.
Yeah.
So those people who are like, oh my god, I love when like these people are. And I'm not saying these people specifically, but a lot of people, in my opinion, would be P words, and they'll be like, "You guys are just stupid liberals." Like, I don't think conservatives would like you either. You need to stop playing these games.
Yeah. Right. Like,
They'll
get
say
out.
that. Oh, it's so crazy. They're like, they'll literally talk about like, I deserve the right to draw this stuff regarding kids. You're just a stupid liberal. That's another like red flag when they like start acting like that, and they'll say, oh, I should be able to draw these inappropriate images, but also if you support ICE. And I'm like, oh my god, goodbye, you're done. I'm like, these people are crazy.
They're
like
insane.
they're not consistent at so it's like they think it's a freedom to be this type of person. And the whole, oh my god, you're just a Westerner, you wouldn't understand. Goodbye. That's another
so
one.
Westerner. What does that even mean?
They think Japan and all these countries where the age of consent used to be lower.
Right.
They think they're so based. They're so based in red pill. I should just be able to do whatever I want. I'm like, goodbye.
Disgusting.
So that's another one. Or when people say like the whole lolicon stuff too, it's like, oh, they're like, it's just a drawing. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
No. It's just
That's pretty much it. You just have to
gross.
really like look into people. Some people have a dark past and they try to hide it, but they're never gonna get away from the things that they do or who they are, because they're never gonna let that go.
Right.
They want their little communities where they can feel valid instead of going to therapy. I've seen people not even encourage therapy, but they're like, hey, I've just discovered my attraction to younger folk. What should I do? And the advice is anything you see appropriate for yourself. Excuse me? Never therapy, by the way. Never therapy.
They're like, hey, how about you draw it out and share it with the world?
Oh my god,
there
I
you
love
go.
when they said this is my coping skill. My therapist said to do this. I'm like, I know damn well your therapist did not say to do this. I know damn well. They said express what happened to you, not what you want to do to other people. Come on.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
What are we talking about?
God, and posting it online too. It's just like maybe one thing in your private
like,
journal, but posting it online is obviously to draw in the same type of people and maybe even, minors and just like
yeah, because exactly. They'll literally use it to basically train kids like this
yeah,
is okay. And I've had so
normalize it.
many comments of people saying I used to be a victim, and they would show these images to me saying, "Hey, see, it's okay. See, it's fine. Now you draw me some of this stuff."
Yeah.
And it's like we're in the modern age, in the modern world, so their tactics for harming people have changed and grown with
Mhm.
technology. But
Right.
it's the same thing. Back in the day, they didn't have the internet, so they would have to really go old school and go find people. Now you
Right.
can access any kid you want online whenever
Mhm.
you want.
Mhm.
So
Yep. And that's terrifying, especially as a mother.
I think
Insane.
about that a lot too. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, just like there's so many gross people. At least, you're telling us like what to look out for, and we can make our safety choices off of that. And so interesting how they try to normalize it. And I had a question, but it just escaped my brain right now. Let me try to
We'll probably
remember
pop
it.
back up in a second.
Yeah.
I talk a lot. I get
No,
lost
it's
in the
okay.
sauce. I talk
No,
so
that's
much.
okay. No, it's good. It's good. That's um the whole point of this. Are there for my viewers, because I know a lot of your viewers, they watch a lot of your stuff. Mine,
Mhm.
we probably share some of the same mutuals. What's the end goal of all of this? Is it for safety measures so other people and mothers and parents can learn the signs, and or is this like a something that you're going to continue, with your platform?
So my goal is always is three things:
Mm-hmm.
educate, shame, and humiliate.
Yeah.
So to educate people on what these people are doing, who they are, what the things that they're participating in, what they're saying, what they're posting, so then people can know. Because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of this stuff is not necessarily new.
Right.
Most people are not chronically online who are in these spaces on Tumblr. And you remember when Tumblr had the big swipe and they got rid of all the I don't know what happened with that, because Tumblr
Yeah.
is crazy. It's so crazy. I'm
Right.
like, oh, God forbid, because I could never figure out Tumblr when I was a kid. God forbid I were to go on there and look at any of that stuff. And that's
Mm-hmm.
so easy to warp someone's mind if you are neglecting your kid. Because that
Mm-hmm.
stuff would only work if you're not paying attention to them.
Yeah.
You're not assisting in their self-esteem. You're not
Right.
educating them in like what their experiences as a teenager, whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you fall prey and easy to these things online. So there's the education. Then the shame. I think it's important that people like these who are harm and danger to our society feel shame, embarrassment, feel afraid to continue to be in these spaces, because they specifically thrive online, and that's how they find other people to harm
Mm-hmm.
and to cultivate. Because sometimes it's fandoms. They wanna have a community. I don't think they deserve community,
Yeah.
especially if it's not to benefit their own mental health. It is not to benefit anything. It's just to feel validated. There's nothing to be validated here. And the
Right.
last thing is to humiliate. They're not allowed to escape from this information that I've posted about them.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue talking about it forever. And I always say this all the time. You are part of the Gothica universe forever. I'll never forget about you. And you're going to be in my mind. And at any point, at any time, I will talk about you and bring you up again, because you will not
Mm-hmm.
escape me.
Right.
And that's just like the three things I always hope to accomplish. And a lot of people think it's harsh, it's mean, but it's like you need to treat these people as they deserve to be treated. There's no
Yeah.
babying them. These are
No.
grown people that, in
Yep.
my opinion, a lot of them should be in jail or
Mm-hmm.
institutionalized. And it's like we need to make them feel like they can't be online.
Yeah.
Period.
Right. 100% agree. It's interesting when you show some of your comments of people that are like, that's not very nice. Like, I get that they're bad, but like, and I love your responses. Especially you're calling yourself out because
Exactly. The
you're,
priority should
yeah,
never be, are we being mean to them? Oh my God, I hate when they're like, you're
yeah,
being kind of mean. That is the point. I'm trying to cause them distress. Like, I don't want them to
yeah,
feel good.
yeah,
And I'm so happy when these people get run off the internet.
yeah,
Brings me so much joy, because they don't belong here in our spaces.
no,
And the more we like do the whole, let's not harass, well, I maybe we shouldn't, but like the whole, like, they call anything harassment.
mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry. holding people accountable and calling them out on their nonsense is not harassment. Harassment would be me constantly messaging them and like bothering them. Most of the time, these people are reaching out to me. I've never reached out to them. I'll tell you that. They always talking to me. So at that point, it's not harassment. And if you're a public figure and you're using your space to cause harm, whatever happens to you online happens to you.
Yeah.
Because you're asking for it. You refuse to leave your platform. You're trying to be this influencer or whatever. No.
I haven't specifically. There was a few predators that I ran into that I posted about, but even in just the goth alt space, I do a lot of calling out the racist goths and all this stuff because they're just
Yeah, those.
yeah.
Light died.
Goodbye, light. It's just it's keeping the platform and the community safe by driving these people out, and it's the same thing for that. Especially, there's a lot of baby bats in our communities, and we want to keep them safe and protected. So when people are like, "You do too much," I'm like, honestly, I'm not doing enough. Like to keep these people out.
I completely agree.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to say about Sarah and Andi?
I'm probably never gonna let the situation down until they're either offline or in jail.
Right.
Which could take a lot of time. I know her argument was like, well, I'm not currently in handcuffs, so I'm not guilty of anything. I'm like, dude, people have gotten free from murder for 5 years.
Right.
It's just a matter of when. And I'm a patient person. I'm pretty patient. Am I satisfied with having to wait that long for justice to take place? No. But I think it's important to kind of spread this in a way to either the media or on social media, so then people are aware, and then it puts pressure on people to take action.
Right.
And if you keep committing crime, it's only a matter of time where you're caught, or the person you're talking to is an undercover cop. Just saying, just be careful, because these people are always stupid. They fall for everything, and they'll share so much TMI. And it's like, dude, you're scared about someone approaching you in public and causing harm to you, but you're telling random people online where you live. Goodbye.
And even with the dog whistles, if people are learning them and you're having it in your bio, I feel like it's already just like, what are you? You're obviously not trying to keep it a secret at this point.
Absolutely not. Like, recently, Andi was posting a child that she had met up with recently in New York and was posting her on a fetish site immediately, saying that they were dating.
Oh my god.
When I talked to that child, they said, no, we are not dating. I'm never going to see them again. And it's important when you're talking to these victims, you have to talk to them like they're teenagers, because they're not going to understand the danger. You need to just explain that this is fucked up. Why would they say you're dating and you're not? Because they're not going to understand the danger of what they could be in. So you got to just say, yeah, that person lied about you. That's really messed up, huh? Because they're not going to, if you say, oh, that person can harm you, they're not going to, they're like, whatever. But like, yeah, that person was making up lies about you online. Ugh, I really got to stop talking to them.
Got to kind of like tone it down. Tone it down for them.
Unfortunately, yeah.
They're minors.
Yeah, they're kids.
And they don't
I know I'll probably
necessarily
get
understand.
some flack for that. Why are you talking to all these kids, huh? I'm like, dude, because I don't want them to get touched.
Yeah.
I'm scared. Like, what do you want? Like, I'm not like texting them like, hey, how are you every morning?
Right.
I'm just like, hey, don't meet up with that person I told you about, please. Please.
So do have any of the victims come to you specifically, or
yes?
Yeah.
They said because of my post, they felt like they could speak out, but not really, because a lot of these victims are still minors and they don't want their parents knowing. But the problem is, if they wait a really long time to do anything, it's going to be the statute of limitations, and then nothing's going to happen. So it's so hard. It's just going to be a matter of time. They accumulate like more victims, and then unfortunately, like, it's going to be like 5 people pass, and then somebody goes to the police.
Right.
So it's unfortunate, but we're just going to have to wait for someone who's willing to speak up, and then more people are going to be harmed. And well, I know their most active thing. They're trying to. I already knew this like months ago. They're trying to go to the anime convention in New York City, and I swear, if they try to go to that anime convention in New York over my dead body, I will physically pull up to that convention, and I don't care if I'm gonna be full on big belly pregnant.
Right.
I'm gonna make a scene. The cops are gonna have to remove me.
Yeah.
I'll go there. I don't care. I don't live that far. I'll show up.
Nice.
If you think you're gonna go there and have a great time, over my dead body,
No, that's awesome.
My dead body, absolutely not. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm really down like that. They get mad when I
Mhm.
say, "Oh, when I say things, I'm gonna pull up." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna harm you.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a spectacle and
Mhm.
make you leave wherever you're at. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Come on. First of all, I'm not Listen, if it were my kid, that was obviously I'd probably go to jail. But like,
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
my
100%.
main goal is like, listen. I'm just glad that I make them feel unsafe in New York. Good.
Mhm.
I'm glad you're looking around every corner like scared there's a cop gonna get you. Good.
Where they're going still to this day, like they.
It's like they live in New York and
Uh-huh.
that's where they live. So they've posted videos in the past of their little areas that they like to take their little victims to, and it's the
Uh-huh.
same fucking spots. No, not even any originality. Jesus, like whatever. So it's all the little
Crazy.
anime spots or any like
Uh-huh.
those cafes or bookstores. That person is there. I'm telling you. So like, and I've tried to contact some of those places, but no one's gone back to me. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad you don't care about this person visiting your business.
Right.
Anyways, so I feel like if a lot of people kind of get a visual of what they look like, and there's a lot of New Yorkers that don't mess with that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
let's go.
Right.
So around the time of the convention, I'm probably gonna be posting a lot of stuff about them being there.
I plan to go to NYC Anime Convention this year. Watch this video. Proud pedophile and groomer, forgot to mention zoophile too, is planning to go to this convention in August. And I've already contacted the convention about this person going, but since the convention is coming up pretty quickly in August, I want people to be aware of what they look like and what kind of person they are.
Like she's in a bunch of Telegram groups. Like she showed me, she's like, oh, this is how I make money, and it's like a bunch of like groups where they sell like DP and like bestiality videos and stuff.
Grown adult woman who is 33 years old. I'm 20. I just turned 20, and she's fucking trying to weaponize these things on me. Basically, she's been fucking saying these things since I was 15.
The police have been contacted multiple times, not only by myself but others, because she uses this convention to lure underage girls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go to the convention itself, but I might try to do something where I might like protesting outside. I'll see. I have to talk to my husband about it, see what's good.
Yeah.
But it's like somebody should do it. It's
Yeah.
like it's very scary, but that's if I know they're gonna be there.
Right.
If they're not gonna be there, obviously I won't do it. But my
That's
main
fair.
concern is that they've approached people there before that are under a certain age and caused harm to them, and the last thing I want is that to continue happening.
Right.
And literally, I had like a recently. I thought the convention was sooner. I thought it was in April. Someone, not that they meant to misled me, but I was freaking. I was literally crying on the phone with the police. I'm like, somebody. They're like, girl, it's not until August. I'm like, oh, my bad.
Okay, I'll call you back in August. I'll be back.
Detectives here. They were talking to me. So, dude, I've been talking to like detectives in every fucking like city. I feel like because I'm like somebody like I don't know. I'm like nobody in New York wants to talk to me.
Yeah.
Figures. And I feel so bad saying this, but like no one in their place fucking sucks. Nobody wants to do anything. Nobody wants to work. Because I've tried to talk to them. They said I need to come in person. I'm like, yeah, that's so useful. Thanks. And I've talked to other detectives on the phone from other states before, so I don't know why they're giving me such a hard time.
Yeah.
Just an FYI, do better. Thanks. Appreciate it.
They don't take any of that shit seriously.
They're like the internet. Literally, they were talking to me like I was crazy. I'm like, okay, just because you guys are boomers, that's nothing to do with me.
Exactly. God.
And they were just like, oh well, they're technically, even if they're like they've committed crimes against children in the past, they have a right to go to that convention. I'm like, what are you saying to me?
So they have a right to go there and harm people, specifically minors. Thanks.
When I'm actually in New York, maybe I'll go in person and freaking talk to somebody, whatever.
Yeah. And you do it, and then they get mad. You're gonna be like, well, you fucking told me. Told me I have to do it in fucking person.
I can't wait for it to be like on the news where it's like this person was reported how many times and police failed to act.
Yeah.
Oh, that's literally what's gonna happen. That's literally what's gonna happen. They're like people on the news are like, yeah, we knew about like imagine having a reputation as a Long Island predator for like on Facebook, and it's like it's crazy. Like whatever.
It's always like those crime scene shows, and it's just like. It was reported like 50 times, and now someone is really hurt, and they never listened.
Their main focus isn't preventative; it's acting after the fact, and that's why they have this issue. They're waiting till a crime has like sternly been committed, rather than trying to prevent a crime from taking place. That is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That is a problem.
100%. Well, the thing it's the shitty thing is like all around, our country is like built on pedophilia, and
My mom was saying that.
yeah, and so like our beauty standards.
It's also all the victim blaming too. They're like,
Yeah.
oh my god! It's so many times I hear this saying, "Girls know what they're doing." She knows what she knew she was doing. Sometimes it is the kid's fault. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I've heard that so many times. Even when someone is dead, they're like, some girls are not innocent. I'm like, that person is dead. What do you mean? They're dead. What are you talking about?
Can't even fucking what? They can't even vouch for themselves.
They'll always say like, well,
victim
the
blame.
minor was manipulating me and I was vulnerable. I'm like, you're a grown person. Cut it out. I've heard that too many times. A lot of cases I've like looked into, it's always the same narrative. No, the kid was making me do things. The kid doesn't make you do anything.
Right.
You're a grown up.
Right. You're old enough to take accountability and regulate your own emotions, that if a freaking minor is pissing you off or, led you on or whatever, you need to get off the internet.
If you cannot
can't do that.
exist in a normal space and have the mindset of an adult, maybe you should be locked in an insane asylum or something. You need to be locked away. If you can't function and you can't be safe around people who should be safe, you shouldn't be around society, I'm afraid.
From people, from the internet, from minors, it's just insane. Good way like that I've learned, and not that everyone feels this way. I know that there are preferences with everyone. But ever since I stopped shaving my armpits, it's like man repellent, like gross pedophilic men repellent, it feels like. Because they're just like,
see, I don't grow that much hair, so I don't I can't even really be like, does this disgust you? There's like nothing there. Everyone's gonna be like, that's embarrassing, that's hair, goodbye.
Right.
I can't even be like, because I've been having like a lot of like, I don't feel like shaving or whatever, and I just like well, it has to do with like your a lot of factors will contribute to body hair, color, thickness, and amount.
Right.
So I don't have a gene pool for me to have that hair.
Wow.
That volume.
Right.
I don't have that. But
mine is so
yeah,
bad.
that's the whole hairless thing. First of all, that comes from men wanting to be hairless and then being pushed on to girls. Because back in the day, the whole strong man, they have their bodies entirely shaved, covered in tanning. Come on. Come on.
Right. Gillette wanted a more range of customers. I was gonna say consumers, but that's kind of the same thing. So they started the whole shaving your legs, shaving is sexy propaganda, pushing it onto women when it was really just men that were shaving.
The only good thing about shaving is when it gets rid of all the dead skin on your body.
Right. Like that's what feels nice. I do like the soft, like,
but my first experience with shaving came from like middle school, and I never even considered shaving ever until a girl said, "You don't shave." I'm like, I'm supposed to shave? What are you talking about? And they're like, yeah, you should shave your entire body. I'm like, shave my entire body? And then she was just showing me, like, look how, like you have hair on your, I didn't have, like, any hair on my legs, first of all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And then that's when I first started shaving, because and guys never said anything. I think the only time boys would say something, they're like, wait, girls have body hair? That's not real. Like, they used to think, like, because those,
that's crazy.
To be fair, some girls don't really grow that much. So when they would see someone who has a darker, thicker hair, and they're like, huh? But like,
yeah. Like, yeah,
I don't know. I didn't have like too much with the beauty standard. People were more upset that I didn't have eyebrows. They didn't like that I did not have eyebrows. They did not like that. They're like, where are your eyebrows? I'm like, at me.
They're just not there. I don't know what to tell you. Just tell them some crazy stuff. I don't know. Satan shaved them off. I don't know. Get out of here.
I don't have thick body hair at all. Yeah. So that, the eyebrows need to be slightly adjusted with a pencil, and then
and there you go. Nice. I know. I have to shave mine off to do.
I stopped doing that because my body does not like when I do things like that. It like messes up with the whole flow of the body hair in my face, and I'm like, all right.
Right.
I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to do that again.
I'll stop. Damn. First was also, I think it was 6th grade, because I've always been kind of like, I'm like, when I say my legs get super, they're like super dark, thick, hairy. I was on stage. Okay. I actually remember the first time I really noticed it is I was on stage trying out for a talent show singing, and I looked down, and you know how there's like a spotlight on you? It just like emphasized all the hair on my legs, and I was like, oh. I was like, oh no.
Oh my god, the same thing happened to me when I went to a really fancy hotel, but I was an adult. And the mirror light was so powerful. I like, dude, I have a mustache? What?
I could see
And it's just because like, the light is so powerful. I don't got no mustache. Just the light really emphasizes all those features, and it makes you think something's there.
If you did, it's not, it's normal to have that.
Everybody in my family, it's always like, if you have a mustache, you're a grandma. That's literally what that means. If you have a mustache, you're a grandma. I'm like, what is that?
Okay.
I've never heard that.
What do you mean?
They're like, grandma has a mustache? Are you grandma? I'm like, what?
We went off a tangent, but
Sorry.
I do. It's okay. It's fun. I do believe that it is somewhat connected to P word. Just so my editor doesn't have to edit out every time.
A lot of people misunderstand the beauty standard and don't understand how really bad it is of the attraction to prepubescence.
Yeah.
So, and I hate this a lot. They'll if a girl looks young or I say woman, not girl. Woman is young, maybe like smaller, not bigger, top heavy. They'll assume that like that's what a child P word would want. I'm like, no, they want, and I hate that. It's like, no, they want the real thing. They're not going to settle for an adult woman. You have to understand.
Right.
So there's that problem. But then there's people who try so desperately to be perceived and viewed as a child. And that is a problem.
Right.
And they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Because if you look close enough to people, I've seen it on Twitter, like even from Andi, she would repost like OnlyFans creators, and they were just like, they would do like childlike things, or they would have a specific body type, and they would really play into that, like, I kind of look like a little girl. And they do adore that shit. They do like it. So they know what they're doing. And there's a difference between someone existing in a certain body and someone playing into a very disgusting negative stereotype.
Playing into the fetishizing of children. I've kind of made a video about the goth house. I haven't posted it yet. But one of the girls, she talks like a child.
Hi.
I'm Neffy.
Nice to meet you, Neffy.
And my green flag is that I have a shallow vagina. So you'll always be big enough.
Okay.
And my red flag
irks me, you know. It was kind of one of the issues that I brought up. I'm, you know, like where I say I'm not a hater of sex work, but I just don't think you should fetishize children and acting like a child.
Oh yeah, I hate that. Oh my god, they'll be like, oh my god, it drives me crazy.
Please stop.
It's disgusting. So and oh my god, it's because I don't have an issue with the sex work either, and especially within context too, because a lot of some of these people they're already making so much money, and it's like, you don't really need to be doing some of the things you're doing, versus I can sympathize with someone who's trying to just exist in this world.
Right.
And in reality, some people just, they don't understand. Some people just get off on the idea of being these people. Yeah. This is what they truly desire and want, and other people are maybe pressured or forced into it, feel like they have to, because they are some predatory contracts where it's like you're viewing someone and criticizing for someone for doing certain things, and they're stuck in this contract they cannot leave. I've seen so many like content creators with those houses or OnlyFans, and they're stuck. Right. They're literally like enslaved to this contract, and they don't want to be doing the things that they're doing or saying whatever, but they have to by contract, and that is awful. And they do it to these girls that just turned 18. Yep. And they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be your manager." Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if something bad's gonna come out of that, where somebody said, "It wasn't what I thought it was."
That's why you gotta be careful of those goth houses and stuff.
Or anything.
Or houses.
Anything with strangers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't dress or anything to repel. I repel with my words and my personality.
Nice.
Like I'm the type of person to embarrass everybody. Like if you bother me when I politely say no, I'm going to ruin your day and embarrass you in front of the entire wherever we're at. I've done
Right.
that before. I've yelled, "Get the away from me!" Like,
Nice.
don't like. I'm a pretty princess, but I'm gonna ruin your day. Don't play
Right.
with me.
I
Play with me.
love that. I love that so much. I wish that was something I have to practice because I've always been so soft spoken and quiet and just raised very, I have to find that strength in me because someone
So
will
you're
like,
with kids, and it would be hard. It's a hard situation to put your kids
yeah,
in that situation because that isn't
right,
always good for them or anything like that.
yeah,
But if
that too.
listen, some people have never been told no or been embarrassed,
Mhm.
and it's your job to embarrass them. I
Right.
don't think people have a right to speak to you. I don't think people have a right to bother you or harass you because some people you'll tell them no and they'll keep yelling at
Yeah.
you and everything. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna cause physical distress to you if you don't leave me alone.
Mhm.
And I've apologized to my friend. I'm like, sorry if I embarrassed you. And they're like, no, it's fine. You weren't yelling at me. I'm like, damn straight I wasn't yelling at you. There's empathy in this situation, but like if people keep still exhibiting the same problematic behavior as an adult, that means they've learned nothing,
Yeah.
and therefore I'm gonna get you. It's
Right.
over.
Right.
And I'm gonna whoever I'm talking about, their OC, mine.
Fixing this ugly ass OC made by a groomer. There are so many things wrong with this OC, from the clothing choices, from the body type, to the face and skin color. First of all, I don't know why you have to make this character look like they're starving to death. And I don't know why I asked that, because the creator of this OC wants to weigh 95 pounds. Well, the first thing you would do is actually get a good pose and not draw from memory, because this person cannot use references to save their fucking life. It's so obvious. And also do research on the type of character you're going to make. I don't know why you would give a nun skin-tight clothing to the point where you can see its ribcage. That makes no fucking sense at all. That's the whole point of modesty. I should not be able to see their ribcage or their titty bump. I also gave the character more of a Filipina appearance, because before it was giving just Tim Burton, very lazy, very boring. So I actually used a reference for that. They don't use references for shit, so I'm not really surprised by that. And this drawing did not even take me that long. God forbid you actually put effort and work into your artwork. It would actually come out significantly better and not as horrendous.
Mine. Watch. And then people get so mad when I say that. I'm like, and just to explain, I don't generally mean I have a freaking, what's it called? A toy house full of all these characters that don't belong to me.
Yeah.
All it is to cause them distress and make them upset.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to hurt their feelings,
Right.
No big deal.
Right. I think that's fair, especially if they're
Especially people
awful.
who are very overprotective. They're like, "Are you?" Oh my god, I hate the people who are like, "Are you copying me? You're copying my color palette and my art style." I'm like, "You're a grown person saying this. Cut it out.
Grow up." What are some steps that we can take to help you get them more noticed? Is it just sharing the content, speaking about it more, or are there other
Making sure
steps?
their fans or people associating with them know, which is hard to do,
Mhm.
but you can't. I know they've privated all their accounts. Love it, because they
Good.
they privated their accounts, and then when they got my Instagram deleted, they unprivated. They thought they won.
Mhm.
Girl, I'm already back. It hasn't even been like a week, and I already got 1,000 followers. I'm going to
Nice.
resurrect real soon. Don't
Yeah.
play with me. I'm gonna be back.
My puppy. What a good girl. Good girl. I'm not afraid to say that.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand. It's like, once you have a certain personality and presence, or people care about what you have to say, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. People will come back to you.
Yeah.
They'll come back to you.
Yeah.
And like, they're hiding. Never trust somebody who's changing their username all the time. Oh my god, that's all they do. Change their
Oh, yeah.
username. That's why, like, on my videos, I know this video is gonna be different. I stick to names. We're going by names, so like we know who you are and all that stuff. Because they'll change their name, like, oh, blah blah blah. Like, you're running. Everybody who does it is running. Running away. You can't run away from me. Never. And like, they'll call me a stalker, but it's like, I can't control that. I've cultivated a fan base of people who care, and then they update me in everything that you're doing, because they very much care about what you could be causing harm to others. So like, whatever. So I know something I want people to do is, if like, obviously if there's any more information, to reach out to my socials. I always respond to DMs. I might not respond. Not respond. I always read DMs. I might not respond to everybody, but I read all of them, just in case it's regarding commissions or tips or stories I want to know, because like, I'm not this magical spell of being able to find all these terrible people online. It's the community that's helping me find these people. So I'm
Right.
always open to conversation, dialogue. I always respond, and obviously it's not that hard to get me angry in comments. So, I'm reading comments too, so I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
So feel free to reach out to me with any new information, any other people you want me to look into. But it has to be real stuff, no petty. This person's tracing or copying. No, 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 no. We're talking about
Mhm.
real stuff, like people who need to be removed, like people that
Yeah.
don't belong here, versus people who might just need a lesson taught or need to grow up. I need like actual issues because a lot of people they'll put me in between their stupid petty drama between themselves and they want me to mediate. I'm like, I'm
Me
not mediating between drama between you and this other person.
It
I am not
happens to
doing
me
this.
too. Yeah, it
No, no, no,
happens
no,
to
no.
me too. No, I totally understand that. It isn't something like I'm not gonna post you to my story because you guys are being mean to each other.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't care about that. I'm so sorry. My thing is
It's
like
just like what?
something that it's borderline criminal.
Yeah.
That's what I was borderline criminal,
There you go.
or like because of some tiny loophole they can't go to jail because a lot of criminal behavior isn't always something that the cops are gonna go and come get you for or whatever. Because people have to remember, like you can do things that are like uh a red flag to possibly other behavior versus like the stuff that you would never really get in trouble for except for on a moral level.
Right.
But yeah, yeah, yeah. That's pretty much it. Just
Okay. Okay. Yeah, just kind of bring more awareness and contact you if there's um any development that is legit and harmful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for doing this YouTube video with me. I think it's hopefully it helps get the word out.
Yeah, of course.
And if you ever want to do something like this again, let me know. But everyone, make sure to follow Gothica on YouTube and Instagram. And who's watching, thank you so much for making it through the video. Thank you, Gothica. I will talk to you sometime soon. Bye.
Bye.
There's also one thing that I totally remembered once I said goodbye, of course, talking about the minors not wanting their parents to know what happened to them in regards to being groomed by the pedophiles. As a mother, I think this is important for all the other parents to hear. Obviously, educating them and letting them know what's safe. And like what Gothica said, personal confidence and self esteem within themselves, like growing that, helping them grow that is extremely important. But I also feel like being a safe space for your child is very important, which, which it does encourage self confidence. If any of this ever happened to my children, I wouldn't want them to hide it to keep it from the police because they think I'll be mad at them. If any of this, I want to know what happened to my child. So if you're a parent out there and you aren't a safe place for your child to come to you and talk to you, they're going to keep this stuff from you and they're not going to get the help that they need. So as a parent, I think you should do better and be a safe place for your child so that they can come and tell you if something bad has happened to them. Take this as an opportunity to show them that you're a safe person, help them get the justice that they deserve. I think as parents, we all need to do better, and as people, we need to do better and treat our children better. Anyways, that's what I have to say about that. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I know it's kind of weird that I'm recording in the daytime, but that was the best time that I can meet up with Gothica, and I'm so excited that I got to talk to her. She is an inspiration and amazing. I appreciate all the work that she puts into calling out these awful, disgusting people. Subscribe if you like this video. Comment your thoughts. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.